Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
And today's the day we climb on up into the 70s. I'll show you how long it'll feel this warm and how much warmer it is as you step out the door today.
Happening today, Wake County teachers plan to call out from work. We'll explain why and what we're learning about the demonstrations. Plus, a special meeting today. The answers we're expecting from Rocky Mount leaders about issues with people's utility bills. A lot to tell you about here at 4:30 on your Wednesday morning. We've made it to Wednesday, midweek point. I'm Renee Chu. Great to have you with us. Let's get to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner for this wonderful forecast in terms of getting outside and enjoying some warm weather.
Yeah, it started to feel really nice yesterday, didn't it? We climbed on up into the 60s. We're going to take it a step farther and into the low 70s across most of the area. We take a live look at Rocky Mount Mills. Right now, our skies are clear, but our southwesterly flow is also helping to push in some additional moisture. So we may end up with a couple of patches of fog in places. We'll be watching out for that. But almost 50 degrees right now across the area. We take a look at the difference in temperature from yesterday. It's anywhere from about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than yesterday. So mid 40s to low 50s as you're stepping out the door this morning. That's closer to our average high. So you don't need a heavy coat this morning or the hat and the gloves, but maybe a light jacket at the bus stop for the kids and definitely the sunglasses for later on this afternoon. Again, we're going to hit low 70s later on today. I'll show you how many more days are in the 70s in our 7-day forecast coming up.
Looks fabulous. Elizabeth, thank you. Today, teachers in Wake County and beyond are planning to call out and protest in a call for better pay and benefits. Hundreds of North Carolina educators say they'll be protesting at intersections during the morning commute. Wake County school leaders say they do not expect any disruption in the school schedule given the high percentage of substitute teachers available. Raleigh police are looking for 2 men after they say a gun went off during an attempted traffic stop. Police say Jose Collado and Norvell Young are both on the run this morning. Collado is wanted on weapons charges and resisting an officer. Young is wanted on a charge of felony flee to elude arrest. This all happened yesterday afternoon at New Bern Avenue and Beacon Lake Drive. Police say officers were trying to pull over a car when Collado got out with a gun and ran away. Police say he then dropped the gun during the chase and the gun went off. Police say Young was still in the car and drove off. Nobody was hurt. Highway Patrol is assisting with the search. Deputies are investigating after someone shot into a Wake County home. The sheriff's office responded to reports of shots being fired around 7 last night on Barrington Drive near Southeast Raleigh. When they got there, they found a bullet hole in a home. Nobody was hurt. Happening today, we are expecting to get answers from Rocky Mount leaders about issues with people's utility bills. WRAL's Ali Kadlabar has been following the story. Ali, several people have reached out to us and said that they received 2 bills in a short period of time.
Yeah, Renee, this all comes as the state auditor's office is investigating the city already for its financial troubles. Those financial issues actually led to an increase in natural gas and electric rates. And today, people who live in Rocky Mount, they are going to get answers about another problem they're having with those bills. This is video of residents lining up inside the Rocky Mount Business Services Center earlier this week. Residents tell us they were frustrated and confused when they got their most recent utility bill showing they owe double what they usually pay. In a statement last week, a spokesperson for the city says the typical 30-day payment window was inadvertently extended for some customers. They say to correct that, it led to back-to-back bills that no one was overpaying. Residents tell us they want more clarity.
I wouldn't mind that much paying it if they could give me a good reason why I am paying it.
Rocky Mount Mayor Sandy Robertson took to social media with a statement saying it's clear why residents are upset. I don't blame you, but we'll get some clearer answers for everyone during this special called meeting, end quote. The special called meeting is this afternoon at 2. WRAL will be there. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
New video and pictures are giving us a closer look at the man accused of murdering Raleigh teacher Zoe Welsh. Ryan Camacho is accused of breaking into the Ravenscroft School teacher's house and attacking her. She later died at the hospital. Now, the security video shows Camacho just 2 hours after that reported break-in. He was arrested moments later by Raleigh police at the intersection of Whitaker Mill Road and Pine Drive. This is a picture appearing to show Camacho in custody, taken by a neighbor. She says when she spotted him walking down the street, her first instinct was to get inside.
He kind of caught my eye, not in a good way. And then the dog next door barked at him. I'm glad I did that, and I am super thankful that he just walked right by.
We're also getting a look at posts Camacho seems to have made 7 years ago on Nextdoor. An account matching his name, location, and appearance commented after a home was broken into in the Five Points area. The post reads, "Be careful leaving your home when you go to work. They like to break in when they see someone leaving the driveway. They also like to break into homes in broad daylight." Coming up in 30 minutes, Governor Josh Stein's reaction to the case and what he says needs to be done. You can count on WRAL to keep asking questions and to cover any new developments in this case. You'll find all of our reporting on this story on WRAL.com and the WRAL News app. People in Apex are watching out after a string of car break-ins. One car was even stolen. The break-ins in 2 separate neighborhoods were caught on nearly a dozen surveillance cameras. Ashley Dwyer says she looked on her phone early Monday morning and saw this: 2 masked men breaking into her garage and stealing her car. She says her vehicle had just been serviced and she had left the spare key inside. On top of losing her new car, Dwyer says her family is already out $1,000.
The door is going to have to be fixed. I had to get a rental car from insurance. I was out of work. We purchased more cameras and more lights. It's very scary. It's unnerving. Like, my girls were scared. They didn't want to stay the night here last night.
Dwyer says it'll take time before she and her family feel safe in their home again. We've reached out to both the town of Apex and Apex Police asking how many car break-ins were reported, how much was stolen from those cars, and if they have any leads on who may be responsible. In the meantime, Dwyer is encouraging her neighbors to lock their doors and step up security. 2 teen runaways have been arrested after a high-speed chase and manhunt in Johnston County. A 16-year-old and 15-year-old were arrested less than 24 hours after the chase on I-95. Highway Patrol says the 2 were driving a stolen pickup truck when they hit another car. The truck went airborne and nearly crashed into a home on Keene Road. Investigators have not released their names. Court records identify the passenger as Leanna L'Italian. WRAL spoke over the phone with the owner of the stolen truck.
It's very disturbing to hear that all that happened with my vehicle when it was safe and sound in my yard an hour prior to it being obtained. I was outside at about 7 o'clock. And at 8 o'clock, I noticed that the truck was gone from a ring camera.
WRAL was the only station there as the teens were arrested at a nearby park. L'Italian's bond is set at $20,000. Troopers say the 2 teens are runaways from Maine. Raleigh City Council members have not made a decision about the plan to build what would be the tallest buildings in the city. They held a public hearing on the North Hills rezoning project last night. Kane Realty wants to build 4 towers around Six Forks and Lassiter Mill Roads. Those towers could be as high as 37 stories, making them the tallest in the city. People who live nearby say the buildings would change the character of the neighborhood and create more traffic. Kane Realty says it would build just as many units, even if the buildings are shorter. Another public hearing will be held January 20th. Today, the State Board of Education will hear a proposal for new standards in English classes. They would expand reading and writing requirements to include poetry and even audio text. The proposed changes also emphasize that texts will be complex. The board is set to hear and potentially discuss the proposal at 10 a.m. They're scheduled to vote on the changes tomorrow. NC State's basketball team got a win last night at Boston College. NC State led by 8 at halftime against the Eagles and held on for the 79-71 win. Their next game will be Saturday afternoon against Florida State. Duke had to come from behind to beat Louisville last night in a top 20 matchup. The Blue Devils trailed as much as 12 points in the first half. But Duke was able to rally down the stretch and pulled out an 84-73 win. They will host SMU Saturday at 2 o'clock. Coming up, new information about the Brown University shooter, what newly recorded videos show after that deadly attack. Plus, sounding the alarm, major changes to the CDC's vaccine guidance are raising concerns, why doctors say the new messaging could have serious consequences. Let's give you a live look at Pittsburgh right now. We are in for a warm day today. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner explains how close we will come to record highs.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It is 4:43, and now that we're past the holidays, our tower on Wednesdays will go back to pink. And of course, that's for breast health. And so we want to remind you every Wednesday that it's important to take care of your health. And so we have the tower lit in pink for you. It's nice and clear out there right now. And the big change that you'll see heading out the door is it feels so much warmer than it did yesterday. We're running at least 10 to 15 degrees warmer than yesterday. Not as cold, 51 degrees in some parts of the area as you're heading out the door. And right now, our skies are clear, but there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. And as our temperature continues to fall slightly this morning, we might see some patchy fog. But again, right now things are looking nice and clear. Just like yesterday, it'll be slightly breezy, not quite as windy, looking at 15 to maybe 18 mile per hour gusts this afternoon. But all those gusts are coming out of the southwest, so that continues to push that warm air in. Our high this afternoon, 71 degrees, and we'll see partly cloudy skies. Our sunrise this morning is at 7:26. Coming up, we're going to talk about how many days we could be very close to records.
Elizabeth, thank you. As we mentioned earlier, Wake County teachers plan to rally for better pay and health care today. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live in Raleigh, where one of the protests is expected to happen. Kelsey, schools could be dealing with mass teacher absences today.
Yes, Renee, the intersection of Capitol Boulevard and Old Wake Forest Road is just one of 11 locations across Wake County where teachers plan to protest. Organizers say at least 250 teachers plan to call out today, and here's what they're demanding: higher pay for advanced degrees, a cap on healthcare premium increases, unfreezing experience pay increases for experienced teachers, and the restoration of health benefits when teachers retire. Wake Schools says they don't anticipate any disruptions for the school day because 98% of the substitute teacher requests have been filled. Mill Park Elementary teacher Caitlin Dow explains why she's joining the call out.
We have politicians across the board that have just not really listened to us. We're not a seat at the table, and we're not really respected in a way. And I think that's devastating. And I think this is a way to kind of help change that.
So we'll be sure to keep monitoring what's going on at all of those locations across Wake County when those protests get started. And organizers say this is not just a one-time event. They plan to call out it once a month through April. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
The Department of Justice has released more information about the accused Brown University shooter. Investigators say Claudio Valente, a former Brown student, killed 2 students and an MIT professor back on December 13th. He was found dead at a storage facility after a 5-day search. According to the DOJ, Vez Valente had been planning the attack for at least 6 weeks. They recovered videos he made after the shootings, but say they do not include a motive. Today, the town of Holly Springs will celebrate the opening of the first segment of its road widening project. There's a ribbon cutting ceremony at 11 a.m. The project connects local traffic to the recently opened NC 540 corridor. It will add a 4-lane roundabout and a new bridge. There will also be new pedestrian activated traffic signals near the elementary and middle school complex. State Supreme Court Justice Anita Earls is running for re-election despite a cancer diagnosis. She made the announcement yesterday. Earls was diagnosed with breast cancer late last year. She had a successful surgery over the holidays and will have more treatment later this month. Earls says her medical team gave her a positive prognosis. Earls is a Democrat. She has served on the state's highest court since 2019. 2 cases of bird flu have been found here in North Carolina. One in Sampson County involving 14,000 commercial turkeys. The other is in Franklin County. That involves 10 backyard birds. The virus is highly contagious to birds, but not to people. Doctors across the country are raising concerns, saying more Americans will die after the CDC announced a major overhaul to the childhood vaccine schedule. The CDC will now only recommend kids get 11 vaccines instead of 18 like before. The change comes amid a spike in diseases like measles, whooping cough, and tetanus in unvaccinated patients. Vaccine expert Dr. Paul Offit says that message carries real risk.
And just say shared clinical decision making. What you're really saying there is you're saying you can reasonably choose not to get any of these vaccines.
Offit says skipping vaccines increases the risk of serious preventable illness. RFK Racing unveiled a tribute to Greg Biffle. The former NASCAR driver and his family died in a plane crash in Statesville last month. The display includes the number 16 car that Biffle drove to earn Ford's 1,000th NASCAR victory in 2013. A public memorial for Biffle, his family, and the other crash victims is scheduled for January 16th at the Bojangles Coliseum in Charlotte. Today marks the first anniversary of the devastating and deadly wildfires that ravaged Southern California. The Eaton and Palisades fires killed 31 people. The flames also destroyed more than 16,000 buildings, many of them homes. In total, the fire scorched more than 23,000 acres. There are many remembrance ceremonies and commemorations planned for today, including an update on where recovery stands. It is 4:49. Let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Elizabeth Garter. Today's the day where we could be near record highs.
Yeah, we're going to see temperatures in the 70s for it today. Much warmer temperatures as we get through the next several days. A chance of a shower for the weekend, mainly Saturday into early Sunday. We're going to walk through that in just a little while. And then once that front comes through, it will be much, much cooler. We're going to start here at Rocky Mountain Mills with the tower. Of course, no more Christmas lights, but it's still lit up pretty this morning. 49 degrees, so much warmer than it was yesterday. The reason for that is our southwesterly wind. That southwesterly wind is pushing that warm air into our region, and that's what really drives our weather this time of year in particular. We see temperatures warming up, we see temperatures cooling down. We warm up ahead of a front and cool down behind it, and we tend to have a lot of fronts this time of year as compared to the summer. Those fronts hang out in Canada over the summer, and we just stay hot. Right now, 49 in Chapel Hill, 52 in Garner, 52 in Rollsville. So again, a lot warmer than yesterday, anywhere from about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than it was this time yesterday. Checking satellite and radar, there is a front that's headed our way. It is going to drop our temperatures slightly for tomorrow, but we don't have a big push of cool air coming in behind this front, and it will be a dry front coming through. It's the second front that's going to bring us the cooler air and a chance of rain over the weekend. Ahead of this big low, we're going to see the temperatures really climbing. You see the pink shaded areas. That's where temperatures are well above normal, and this is what it looks like. 71 for today. Again, that front's going to drop our temperatures slightly for tomorrow at 65, but no rain with that and really not much cloud cover. And then Friday 72 and 74 on Saturday. We're not likely to see a record for today. Our forecast high is 71 and the record is 75, Fayetteville 74 with a record of 80. But we get closer to it on Friday. We could tie it on Friday. We could be very close on Saturday. And then by Sunday, we start to see the temperatures falling again. So here's a look at what we're seeing. Our next best weather, next weather maker is coming through over the weekend. We're going to talk about what time you can expect the rain and how much we might see.
Elizabeth, thank you. Leadership shakeup. NASCAR's commissioner stepping down after more than 2 decades in the sport. How the timing is drawing new attention to recent controversy.
Turned in the fence. Keselowski, the leader, to the outside.